Hello friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're enjoying the instruction that I'm giving you. So today we're going to be talking about the #1 most effective thing you can do for your practice. And it's probably not what you might think. So get in your last minute guesses. What do you think I'm going to say? Utilizing a practice journal. So what is a practice journal? So basically a practice journal, it can be as, elaborate or as simple as you want. It is a place for you to write down your goals and kind of evaluate your practice. I have been using a practice journal since high school, and I cannot tell you how helpful it is and how just revolutionary it's been for me in my practice. So to use a practice journal, first I would set out intentions for your practice that day. Now this can be anything from a time goal, I want to practice for 2 hours, or, and I think more importantly, it can be specific things that you want to get done. So work on intonation in this passage, work on string crossings in this passage, learn these measures, think very specific things like that. Along with that, you can even organize the amount of time that you're going to spend on each. So for the intonation, I'm going to spend 10 minutes. For the string crossings, I'm just going to spend 15 minutes, things like that. I feel like a lot of times we don't have specific goals when we're going into our practice session, which can make this session just confusing. It can be hard to know exactly what you want to work on. So having clear intentions and goals before you start the practice session, I think is super key. Also with the timing, a lot of times we can get carried away. And then we'll spend 30 minutes and realize, oh no, I only have 15 minutes left to practice, but I still want to, do all these other things. So the time goals are going to be really helpful as well. I would also recommend, if possible, planning these out at least the day before, so you're not just trying to sit down to practice and figuring out what you want to do. Next, I would practice and I would kind of evaluate as I go. So like I said, say I wanted to spend 10 minutes on the intonation. I find that that's just not enough time. I would make a note of that, and then I would say, okay, well, I'm going to cut the passage in half then. Instead of 10 bars, I'm only going to work on 5 bars. So evaluating your practice as you go along and after the practice, okay? You can reflect on how the practice went. I always recommend recording yourself too and listening to the recording. Think about things that went well, think about things that you still want to improve, and then set out the goals for the next day. Another great thing about a practice journal is that you can also write your lesson notes in there, okay? If you are not taking notes on your lesson, you definitely should be, because it is humanly impossible to remember everything. So what I used to do was literally right after my lesson, I would write all my lesson notes in my practice journal, and then I would continue to refer back to that over the week, because like I said, it's impossible to remember everything. And it also keeps everything in one place. What if you're writing lesson notes, but they're just on random pieces of paper and then you lose them? And so just keeping yourself as organized as possible is really going to just do yourself a huge favor, okay? And practice journals are also so fun to look back on. Like I said, I've been doing this since high school, and I still have all of my high school practice journals, and I love looking back at them, seeing what I was working on, and honestly reading my lesson notes, because there's some really good information in there that, I forgot. So just having them to look back on is going to be great as well. So if you're not already doing this, I highly recommend giving it a try. It is really going to help you to structure your practice better, help you feel like you know exactly what you're working towards and exactly how far you need to go. And it's just going to help you stay a little bit more organized, which is always a good thing. So if you already use a practice journal, let us know if I missed anything that we can incorporate. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to drop them below, and thank you for watching.